A cognitive neuropsychology study out of the University of Sussex revealed something absolutely incredible. They found that just 6 minutes of reading can reduce your stress levels by a massive 68%. I mean, just think about that for a second. It lowers your heart rate and eases muscle tension faster and actually better than listening to music, having a cup of tea, or even taking a walk. Literally just 6 minutes to completely calm your nervous system. That's it.
How we can track the exact journey of a single word at the absolute micro level. The very moment a squiggly line hits your eye, a 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 progression kicks off in literal milliseconds. First, we see the shapes. Second, we crack the sound. Third, we build meaning. And finally, step 4, we create the scene. Let's break this sequence down a bit. Right, so step 1 happens right at the very back of your head, in the visual cortex. Your eyes lock onto the page, and this region instantly spots patterns of lines, loops, and curves. Now, it doesn't even know it's a word yet. At this point, it is just recognizing the literal geometric shapes on the paper. Then, faster than you can even blink, step 2 kicks in. The signal shoots over to your brain's language areas, specifically Broca's and Wernicke's areas. Here, the brain rapidly cracks the code. It takes those static visual shapes and magically converts them into distinct, recognizable sounds and words. Now we hit step 3, where the word actually needs context. Your memory and comprehension networks grab that decoded sound and immediately link it to your prior knowledge. It's just like snapping a puzzle piece right into its exact spot. The brain builds the meaning of the word based on literally everything you've ever learned and experienced in your life. And then, bam, step 4 is where the real magic happens. Sensory and motor regions suddenly fire up. Your brain isn't just decoding anymore. It is actively creating a completely immersive scene. It lets you vividly picture the environment, hear the dialogue in your head, and practically feel the action of the story happening all around you. It's wild. Reshaping our neural architecture through a process called neuroplasticity. Basically, think of your brain as a tiny construction crew, a little stick man constantly plugging in new wiring. When you read, you are literally strengthening the arcuate fasciculus. That's the dense wiring connecting your language regions. And you're wrapping those pathways in myelin insulation. This acts like a biological superhighway, helping your neurons send signals faster and much, much more efficiently. And the coolest part, this isn't just a temporary boost that only happens while the book is open in your hands. A really fascinating 2013 study from Emory University found that this increased brain connectivity actually lingers for days after you finish a book. The physical rewiring persists long after you've closed the cover and walked away. Now, the benefits aren't purely structural. Reading fundamentally changes how we relate to other human beings. It establishes a sort of virtual reality empathy simulator for genuine connection. And this brings us to a really crucial concept, theory of mind. This is the specific brain network we use in the real world to guess what another person is thinking, feeling, and planning. Whenever you open a story and follow a character's journey, you switch this exact critical social network right on. And the proof for this is incredibly compelling. Landmark research published in the journal Science by Kiv and Castano in 2013 demonstrated that reading literary fiction actually improves readers' scores on tests of empathy and social understanding. And amazingly, they found that these emotional intelligence scores jumped after reading just a single short story. Not a whole library, just one story. So the crucial point is the staggering difference in mental growth over time. Just look at the numbers. A light reader encounters about 100,000 words a year, while a frequent reader encounters over 1 million extra words per year. According to Cunningham and Stanovich's Matthew effect in reading research, this massive gap means the rich get richer. Frequent readers build vastly richer vocabularies, much deeper comprehension, and stronger mental frameworks compared to those who rarely pick up a book. The brain doesn't just passively process text on a page, it vividly and physically acts it out through mental simulation. When you read a highly descriptive word, something like lavender or cinnamon, your visual and sensory cortices light up. Your brain's actual olfactory centers stir, behaving exactly as if you had just leaned in and smelled the flower yourself. And it applies to movement, too. When you're reading a high-stakes action scene about a character sprinting away from danger, your motor cortex quietly activates. Your brain is physically mimicking the movement of running, firing the exact same regions as if your own feet were pounding the pavement. Which leads us to this incredibly powerful takeaway. Readers don't just imagine a story, their brains rehearse it. Just let that sink in for a second.
You aren't just absorbing information, you are living it on a neurological level. Just how simple this cognitive fix truly is. You don't need expensive equipment to train this complex cognitive machinery. Here is your highly practical playbook for maintaining a healthy, well-wired brain. Number 1, read just 10 to 15 minutes daily. That short, everyday habit is all it takes to build lasting neural change. 2, mix your genres. Fiction builds your empathy networks while nonfiction constructs vast knowledge webs. 3, talk about the stories. Discussing what you read forces your brain to deepen comprehension and really lock in that memory. And 4, don't be afraid to reread your favorites to strengthen those well-worn neural pathways. Zooming back out to the macro picture here, every single book you read leaves a physical trace in your brain. Picking up a book leads to lifelong, compounded benefits. We're talking about sharper focus, significantly slower, age-related cognitive decline, and lasting stress relief that protects your mind for decades. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Your brain has been working so incredibly hard, processing alerts, emails, and endless digital feeds today. It deserves a better kind of workout. It's time to log off, open a cover, and ask yourself, what world is your brain going to rehearse today?